Hi, welcome to Think Human. I'm Chris, and in this video I want to talk about the neurological basis of good or evil. And I want to start off this video with a story about a man named Charles Whitman. And in the 1960s, a horrific event happened. This man, Charles Whitman, if he would have spoken to any of his colleagues or family or his girlfriend, they all would have said he's a perfectly nice person, fun to be around, all around good guy. He also was renowned for his service in the military and had good connections there. But one day he woke up, he murdered his mother, then he went on and murdered his girlfriend, and then he went to the Texas College campus and killed additional 11 people in the watchtower, and in total killed 17 people by the end of all of it. Now, when the police finally got to his body, they found a note written by Charles Whitman, and in there he had a description of what has been going on, and he wrote that for the last few months, these recent times, he'd been feeling increasingly more aggressive tendencies. He had these violent impulses, some aggressiveness in him that he just couldn't explain why it was, but he could not resist his urges to do violence anymore. So one day he just went off like that, and he said, "I think there's something wrong with my brain. If you catch me, if you kill me, just dissect my brain, look at me, there's something has to be wrong with my brain." And so they did autopsy, and they looked at his brain, and they found a brain tumor exactly in the region of the brain, pressing on the region of the brain that causes aggressiveness. So the whole story kind of seems a bit different. At first, when we describe it, it seems like this horrible violent monster, and later when you find out that he had a brain tumor making him do that, he in a way kind of turns out to be the victim. Like if any you or me would have this brain tumor in the same place, we would also act violently and possibly kill people or whatever could happen with this. The point of the story is that in this case, this example of having a brain tumor is a really concrete, clear, black and white example that something was physically wrong with his brain. But the same way we can go way back in any criminal behavior, we can see someone who killed some other person, and we can look back, what was the last week like, what was the last year like, what was his childhood like. Maybe it's bad genetics. Was it his murderer's fault that his parents were bad, or mom was an alcoholic, or whatever happened to him, bullied at school, just unfortunate events that led him to grow up that way, to be aggressive and to develop this kind of character in him. This way of looking at human behavior, there is always some kind of reason. The same with bad people. Bad people aren't just evil, there is some reason that they are driven to do things that the rest of society would consider evil. The same would apply to good. Like, you can't really take 100% of credit if you are a good person. You just happen to be lucky enough to be born with a good brain and to have good parents and have good environment around you to be able to flourish like that. Same way this serial killer, it wasn't his fault that he got the brain tumor. And I would argue, like you said before, it shouldn't apply. I mean, I guess the point is that this would reduce the kind of logic behind getting revenge, being angry at these people, seeing these people as evil. As soon, I'm sure, as medical technology advances and our understanding of our own bodies and brains, we will see it less as a problem of evil, but a problem of same way as someone is sick, as people who do quote-unquote evil things are sick in that way. So I guess that's the point I would bring, and it doesn't need to be an obvious example like a brain tumor. It can be just bad childhood, bad environment, bad genetics. None of it that's really the person's fault. I'm not saying it's fine and people can go ahead and kill people. I'm just saying it's not none of our faults really what we do in this kind of way. So instead of hating these people, seeing them as evil, in a way they are victims. We all are victims of biology and the world around us and how it shapes and molds us, the experiences we have, and how it all accumulates all the years up to who we are right now and what we do. Yeah, just something I wanted to share with you, that the kind of idea of evil sort of falls apart when we start looking at things in this way. So yeah, it's just some ideas. If you have any interesting ideas or recommendations, please leave a comment down below, and thank you so much for watching, and take care.